Hi guys, this is gonna be a little confusing. I am gonna be the orange pen, and we are both gonna be analyzing her video. I'm gonna be showing you Simone Manuel's freestyle, and I'm gonna be showing you the muscles she's using. This dude is also gonna be writing on the screen. He's gonna be analyzing her freestyle stroke. So, if you're here for muscles, the muscles are going to be in freestyle. The muscles are in orange. So hopefully you have a place to take some notes over the muscles used in freestyle. Right? So, cool. And we'll show, this is Simone Manuel. She is a U.S. Olympian for freestyle. So let's watch her, I can move this, swim. Okay. Currently he's watching her in reverse. All right. I'm going to pause right here and we're going to start with the first muscle. So her hand is entering the water. As it is entering, you can see as it's entering, we can see her reaching forward with this arm. Go ahead and watch right there. Okay, so she stretched out with this arm. The muscle she uses to stretch this arm forward is this great muscle right here. So in the back of your arm, it goes from your shoulder to your elbow, and it is called your tricep muscle. And your tricep muscle lets you straighten your arm. So as her hand enters, it's almost straight. And then in the water, she straightens it out. You can also see she's already engaging her finger muscles in catching that water, right? We want to catch and push the water to our toes. We do not want to pet the water. We want to push the water. Here we can also see her kicking. So if you did the 6 and 6 drill with us in the pool, we talked about how freestyles actually swum on your side. Right here, you can see that this hip is down. Right? Your hip is actually part of your pelvis. That's the bone. You can also call it your hip. This hip is down, and this hip is up. Right? So this hip is up towards the surface of the water. This hip is down. And if her belly button is right here, it's almost facing us, right? As she's really turning over on this side, reaching out to catch the water, right? Now we watch her again catch the water. Let's see if he's going to show what I show. He's talking about how her head needs to be looking down. Her head doesn't need to be looking down. Also, about how her forearm should be dropped down so that she's catching more of the water as she's starting her swim. Okay. We're going to move through this to when she's actually catching the water. I tried to skip him. There we go. Okay. She has now bent her elbow. And as soon as you bend your elbow, remember I'm orange. As soon as you bend your elbow, you have to use your bicep. You can actually see her bicep right here. It's that long muscle on the front of your arm that lets you bend your elbow. Ignore him, right? Bicep on the front of your arm. But hold on. Okay, so this muscle that is allowing her to bend her arm, that is her bicep. It's a really important muscle in swimming because with her bicep and her forearm muscle, You can see she's continuing to pull the water. Okay, she's continuing to pull this water between her bicep and her forearms and her hands, pull the water behind her. So she's pushing pretty hard on the water. She's pushing herself out of the water. She's pushing down, pushing backwards. Right? She's pushing backwards with her bicep and her lower arm muscles to push the water behind her. And let's look at the next muscle she uses. Okay, guys, once again, I am orange. We can now see Simone push the water. She's still not done pushing this water. She's going to push it all the way down past our hips. But I wanted to pause here to show you the muscles we use to move our arms underwater. So right here, you can see this very engaged muscle. This is called your latissimus dorsi. Right? And it is the back muscles. Latissimus dorsi. Right? Dorsi means on your back. Dorsal, dorsi. It's on your back. So this big set of muscles is involved also with pulling. If you've ever done pull downs in the weight room, you use your latissimus dorsi for this. So right now she's stretching out her latissimus dorsi as much as she can, which helps push her whole arm up, right? As we talked about hips, this hip right now is so towards us, you can't even see the hip on the other side, right? So this hip is down in the water. The other hip is up, almost out of the water as she's entering this stage of her stroke. And yes, the latissimus dorsi are the big muscles on your side that lets you catch the water. So she's stretching out her latissimus dorsi right now so that when this hand starts to face down and catch the water, she is using her latissimus dorsi. The muscle she's using on this side, on her right side, we can't really see now because it's away from us, but she is pushing down on that water like she's pushing herself out of the pool. And if you have ever pushed yourself out of the water on the side of the pool deck, if you do it a couple of times, you will pretty much guaranteed to start feeling it in what we call your pecs or your pectoralis muscles. So swimmers use, particularly freestylers, use their pectoralis muscles a lot. Pectoralis. These muscles help us push ourselves up. These are the muscles we use in push-ups. So she's using this big set of muscles in the chest called the pectoralis. She's using those muscles to help her push her arm down and push her hand back, which pushes the water back. In just a sec, we're going to watch her stroke. Oh, look at abs. It's almost like abs matter for swimmers. In just a sec, we're going to watch her stroke above the water. Okay. So now we can see her stroke above the water. We can see her hip rotation, right? Right. So this hip is up and the other hip is down. We can see her kicking, and this muscle that you see right now, right, the muscle that is in your butt is called that starts your kick. Right? You can actually see the water moving around and mostly at her feet, but it does start up at this big muscle. One, you can see her swimming side to side. Right? You don't actually swim freestyle on your stomach. You pop your hip from side to side. And this is her gluteus. It's a U, gluteus maximus. And we call it gluteus maximus because you have a smaller muscle of this, and also your gluteus is your biggest muscle in your body, which is why we use it to swim freestyle, because freestyle is one of the most efficient strokes out there. It is the easiest to swim for long distances. Breaststroke is also very easy to swim for long distances. But freestyle is great because it uses some really big muscles, right? We use some really big muscles to swim freestyle. So this is our gluteus maximus. We can also see that she is pulling her arm over the top in her recovery, what we call the recovery part of the stroke. In the recovery part of the stroke, this is again the latissimus dorsi. And also, if you are a sprinter, you will also use your deltoids. A lot of sprint freestylers have pretty strong deltoids because we can engage our deltoids in recovering our arms. And hers is a good example of this. I'll show you in just a sec how I know she's using her deltoids as well. So this is her latissimus dorsi. It's that, again, muscle kind of right under the T part of a swimsuit in the back, or right under a bra strap on a swimmer, okay? So she's using her latissimus dorsi, and let me clear the screen. I know she's using her deltoid, which is this big shoulder muscle, because her hand is coming out and around. Right? If her arm was coming straight up and going straight down, I would tell you she's just using her latissimus dorsi. But because this arm is kind of coming out and around, she's probably also using her deltoids, which is a fairly big muscle on the outside of your shoulder. You touch where you think your shoulder is, you are probably touching your deltoid. So, I'm going to clear the screen. We're going to watch her finish her stroke. Okay, see how the arm's kind of coming up and around? You can't because he cut away. Okay, so let's talk arms used in the arm muscles used in the recovery of your stroke. Good. Right here, recovery. She's not pulling any water. Her hand is out of the water. Right here, her elbow is bent. Right, we can see her elbow is bent. So we know with a bent elbow, she must be using her bicep. Okay, with a bent elbow, she must be using her bicep, because the bicep is the muscle that bends your elbow. Cool. She's using her bicep. And so you can see right here, you can see that her hand is finishing all the way down at her hip. And we can see how she's using her tricep. So as you finish your freestyle stroke, you really want to snap your hand and speed your hand up so that it's going all the way to your hip and that you're snapping it out of the water. You're really accelerating or speeding up your hand the whole way as it comes alongside your body until the very end. By your hip, you're going to snap it up. It makes it really easy to recover because you have all that speed coming out as you recover. And also use your tricep to snap that hand down. Okay, so you're snapping your arm basically from chest level, right around your lats. You're going to snap it down straight out of the water, and that is all done by your triceps, because your triceps are what pull your arm straight, and you're accelerating that hand, and that tricep is really the one that does that pushing. Good, you can see that hand snap right out of the water, right there to her hips, right? Okay, we're gonna pause. Okay, the last muscles we need to talk about are the muscles of the kick. We talked about the gluteus maximus and your quadriceps. You can see how high her hip is. Right? This hip is almost hard to see in the water. Okay, you can see her. This is the other swimmers. I'm showing you like it's, don't want that. Okay, so this is the, don't reverse them, dude. He and I are battling. There's her clip. So when we watch this moment, we can see the other swimmers, latissimus dorsi, again, engaged in the work of swimming. We see her early vertical forearm, bent elbow, quadriceps, and hips, right?